becoming somebody you haven't been before can tend to be isolating. I'm only saying isolating in the sense of not everybody's going to be on the same journey you are on. And the journey you may be on that God puts you on is going to be different from somebody else's. It's like the idea of kind of being the black sheep in a sense. That's kind of how you may feel, to where you can't really relate to people on a conscious level, relate to what they like to do and what they find funny. It might be different, and that is okay. But this is all to say that if you feel like it's hard for you to fit in within your current circumstance, within your environment, and within even you changing, if you feel like you can't connect with others that are around you or your peers, there's nothing wrong with you. It just means that God has a specific plan for you in terms of who you surround yourself with and what your purpose is in life. And I feel like when we are often by ourselves, when we often feel like we're different, that we can't connect with others easily, we feel very isolated. It's like we have desires of wanting to fit in with others. We have desires of wanting to not feel like we're left out in a sense. I'm not feeling like we're alone. With that, we feel like we have to try to force things with people, feel like we have to try to force and go against who we actually are, so we don't deal with that lonely feeling. I feel like the worst thing you could do is to try to like get away from who you are and your path and your purpose, so you can feel like you're in community, so you can be where everybody else is at, when in actuality you're not supposed to be where everybody else is at. You're supposed to be up here. You're supposed to be on your own path. Then as you continue to be on your own path, you will find the people that are for you, who see you for who you are, to where you don't have to force anything, to where you don't have to force a connection, a conversation, none of that. Being an odd one out within your own self-improvement and change and growth, and even just in general, it's special. I feel like that's something we shouldn't see as some type of punishment or some type of curse. We should see it as realignment. We should really just see it as God just trying to realign us and redirect us in our design path that He has envisioned for us. It's like lately I have been dealing with this exact thing of being in the midst of change, being in the midst of improving myself and elevating from a higher level of consciousness, and just vibrating at a higher frequency from everybody else. And it's like the things that I enjoyed, that I loved to talk about, not everybody else found as amusing, not everybody found as interesting. And so that kind of left me to feel very isolated around the people that I hung out with. It led to me feeling like somewhat of a black sheep in a sense, just feeling like I don't belong in my current environment. And it was only due to the fact that I knew what others around me talked about in terms of conversation. I really wouldn't be able to connect with them on that level. And so at first I was going through a whole process of trying to force conversations with people, trying to force a connection. And then within doing that, it made me overthink. It would make me overthink my own responses. Like, should I say this? Should I say that? So we can vibe, so we can connect, so the conversation can flow. And that should have been my sign that I'm not supposed to do that. I was moving outside of alignment, trying to make it work. Y'all know how to talk about trying to make things work. Try to force a connection with somebody or force a conversation with somebody. You're not supposed to do that. If you connect with that person, you connect with that person. If you don't, you don't. You allow it to be what it is and not try to make it something that it's not. And so I had to do my due diligence of making sure I was there for me and reassuring myself and grounding myself, not only within my own overthought, but just being a support system for myself. And this is something that happened yesterday where I was just like overthinking. Like how I am now, I just wasn't like that before. I used to be able to conversate with anybody and everybody. And so what I'm going through right now feels like a huge shift in my life, to where I'm trying to discover my own place within my current environment, find my own people, and continue to embrace my uniqueness, continue to embrace my differences from my peers. And that's one thing we have to do. We have to love ourselves through who we are, or through the current changes that we are going through. Not everybody's supposed to be on the path that you are on. And we may want them to, but that's just not the case. And so I feel like instead of feeling sad that you can't connect with others on the level you want to connect with them, we have to really accept it for what it is and understand that what is for us doesn't have to be forced. What is for us won't be confusing. What is for us will flow into our lives with ease, not force. And I feel like that's just the type of mindset we have to have within moments of feeling isolated, to remember that God has a design purpose for us. So we have to stand out, not fit in. We have to embrace the differences, embrace the uniqueness, not shy away from it. With our uniqueness, we will attract others because you'll stand out, and others will see that. Others will see that you're not like the rest of the pack, which is a rare thing because everybody else nowadays is trying to just blend in. So yes, I understand how not fitting in and feeling like somewhat of a black sheep can seem somewhat isolating, to where you feel like you're the only one in your current environment or your current circumstance that can't connect with anybody, or you feel like some sort of an alien in a sense. But we have to embrace that and continue to really have faith. That's the biggest thing with anything. With anything and everything is to continue to have faith. The things that we want and desire in terms of friendships, relationships, we will attain those things and more. But we can only attain those things by staying true to our path, so we can receive what is truly meant for us to experience and to be a part of. So I'll say just continue to give yourself self-love, be responsive to your own feelings, write, journal, do video diaries. That's something I do, within my time. Continue to be your own counsel and tell yourself you love yourself within the mirror. When you wake up, before you go to sleep, just be that for yourself. At the end of the day, we're never alone. We always have ourselves. We always have ourselves to lean on. And I feel like that's what we have to take a more responsible role in. Because at the end of the day, when you go to sleep, when you wake up, it is you and you. So choose to stand out, choose to embrace your own uniqueness. And within this time of feeling just alone, understand that you're not. Understand that there are people out there just like you who are on their own journey, who are still trying to figure out their circle, and people who've truly aligned with us. We're still trying to figure that out, and that is okay. I just suggest y'all to keep changing, to keep growing, and to keep evolving, and to understand that change is going to be difficult. The idea of being alone might bring you a sense of uncomfortability and unsureness about your present and even your future. But the best thing you can do within that unsureness is to reassure ourselves and to continue to have faith and understand that God is working something special for us. He is. He's working something special for us within our design path. And we have to trust it. We have to trust it, and we have to know we are worthy of more. We can't settle for something mediocre. We can't just settle for any old relationship with anybody, platonically or romantically, just so we can feel a void, just so we can feel a part of ourselves that is lacking a certain amount of love, a certain amount of validation from somebody else. We have to give that to ourselves. That's why I say it's you and you. You have to give yourself that love and that support. And not to say that nobody else will be there to do that for you, or anybody else will be there to give you love, support, and care. But I feel like anybody can say anything. If you still don't love yourself, if you still don't value your own self-worth, it doesn't matter. It's useless. So love you, take care of you, embrace your uniqueness, embrace who you are. I understand things get better. Things will get better with time, but with trust in the process, trust in the plan that God has in store for you, and to love yourself through that change, to not reject it, to not see it as some sort of punishment from God, when it's really realignment. It's really redirecting you in the path that you're supposed to be going towards. Like, I think that's the best thing I learned within these past few weeks of overthinking and wondering why I'm not able to connect with my peers. It's by understanding that my path is my path and I'm in alignment. And the uncomfortability of not being able to connect with somebody is a temporary circumstance that is not a long-term one. And I just have to continue to trust the process and to still live for me, still live my life, and instill positivity, joy, and support into myself, regardless of my circumstance. That's something we really, really have to do. So, nobody said change was going to be easy. Nobody said being a black sheep was going to be easy. But then again, God doesn't put us in a situation that we can't handle. And that these are all tests to see how we will handle it and how we will rise above. And we will. We will. I know I will. So I fully expect all of you to as well. Because we're made for something more. We're made for something greater. We're made to do something greater and express ourselves in an abnormal way that is unique and special. Don't shy away from that. But yeah, anyways, that's the video for today. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Stay blessed, stay easy, and smile today. All right.